Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, we're gonna fix the champions that suck. And to do that, we are joined by a man I'm sure you all know and love. He's getting serious. He's just back
I
from the
don't know, man. I
gym.
can't get this damn hat calibrated here in Nub Raids. It's gonna ruin your video.
Oh no, you're looking
What's up,
good.
Nubs? How you doing, man? You
It's
know the problem is I'm looking at the reflection of me and I'm like, why is my I'm just gonna wear it the way it ought to be. There we go.
mhm.
All right. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You're looking good, man. I have a similar problem sometimes where the hair bun it starts just falling down the head, and then it disappears, and people are like, "Nub, did you cut your hair?" And I'm like, "No, it's still there. It's still there."
It's there, it's there. How long you had the bun? How long you been rocking the bun?
Um, behind the scenes, often it's when I need to have a shower and my hair looks real bad. I tie the hair up. that's usually
Oh,
that's,
I like it. I like
that's
it. Okay.
usually the way. That's usually the way. So
Yeah.
yeah, there
My
you go.
son was like, Dada, what do you look like with your hair long? So I'm like, I don't know. Let's find out. So I told him, I'm like, you see this guy,
Mhm.
Numbraids, Fenax? I'm gonna grow a bun just like him. So we're about 6 months in right now.
Nice,
But
nice.
I had to get rid of the sides though, because I can't handle the scruff, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I
The
mean,
top though, we're growing it long. We're growing it long.
yeah. This I think it was COVID when I got my hair long. I had long hair when I was a teenager, and then I got it
Okay.
short again when I was about I
You
don't know.
started with World of Warcraft, right, man?
Hmm?
You started
Probably.
with World of Warcraft?
Yeah, that's how my
Oh,
channel
on YouTube.
started. Yeah, yeah. And,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Cool. Did
think
you have long hair back then?
no, I don't think so. I don't remember. No, I think I had short hair maybe back then because that was pre-COVID when I started YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. But like when I was a teenager, right, that was all like Lord of the Rings was huge, all that sort of stuff. So man, I had long hairs,
Yeah,
Aragorn, all
man, you
that.
had the accent. You're just like in the countryside. Absolutely, I understand.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
do the
yeah. But
same,
yeah, I
man.
grew my
I
hair
guess
out again
is
during
that it
COVID,
done?
and I love it.
Is the collab over now?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. So this is
Everything
thank
we
you.
want to
This
discuss.
is our hair collab. We're sponsored by I don't know what's the one for shaving your balls. I know that does a lot of sponsorships. Oh man, no. What are we talking about? We're talking about champs that need buffs, Ash.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna do PLARIUM job for them again. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna fix
let's
fix
do
all the
it.
crappy champions that like. I appreciate them doing the one or the two buffs a month,
Mm,
but
mm,
come on, man. I mean, some of these aren't rocket science, you know. Some
hmm.
of these we can do it for them right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Do you want to pick one to start us off? Who's the first on your list that you want? You can fix any champion in the entire game. Here it
I
is.
just have one philosophical question for you. Do you think
Okay.
there's any reason that there can only be two a month? You know, like, do you think that if let's just say they have identified 10 champions they needed to
Hmm.
buff,
Yeah.
do you think that is there any benefit to slow playing it to kind of let the changes permeate a bit, marinate in the
I'd say probably not really. Like in theory, if you do fewer champions, you've got more time to like test it and quality test it and make sure it's good and get it absolutely right and have it. But at the same time, I feel like there's a few champions that they've buffed several times, and it's like if it's taking that long to do, like that's where more changes more quickly can help
yeah.
there.
Okay.
I don't know. I obviously everyone I would love more change because the game power creep happens so fast, really, and so many new champions come in. I really think there's no harm in. I mean, they could do like 5 or 6, and like, is anyone gonna be like that sucks? No, I don't think so.
No, no, man. No, no. Okay. And we know that being a perfectionist is not PLARIUM's style. It's not like they're like, oh,
Yeah,
we want to really evaluate these things. So, all right. Whatever the timestamp is, probably put in the comments. Video
yeah, yeah,
starts at
yeah.
3 minutes and 40
Exactly.
seconds. Beat somebody to it. I'm gonna go back to the well, man. Speaking of back to like not getting things right, I was hopeful. One of the first champions they touched was Angar
Ooh,
after their big year and a half off of balance changes.
yeah,
And man, it just wasn't it. It wasn't it. I was excited initially
yeah.
by the two-turn provoke because it's like, okay, at the time too, Hydra was still exciting and somewhat newish. And now it's just like, yeah, no one I don't think anybody's like absolutely clamoring for a provoker like desperately right now in
Yeah.
a Hydra. At least not in terms of like that's what you want to see out of your Void Legendary that you get like once every 200 damn shards, right?
Yeah.
So Angar, man, that's all he's got. That's it. Like, dude, he's a Void Legendary. This is like an Umbral Enchantress kit, like right here.
Yeah.
This is like a Void Epic right now. That's after the buff. So I mean, I don't even know where to start with this guy, but maybe update him to do a little bit more than just provoke, like maybe more debuffs. That way you can use him in faction wars and trials, maybe giving him a little bit more versatility in the game. But he's a tough one just because he's so one-dimensional right now for a Void legendary, you know?
I mean, here's a question. Do you think that he has reflect damage on all allies, but like that's useless, let's be honest? Like, is this a buff that needs a buff? Or would that be too annoying to play against? Like, is reflect damage a problem just in general?
Reflect damage is like, it's a crappy buff,
It's
right?
so
Like,
bad, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like, you're saying give a buff to the buff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but then it might be, imagine fighting him in like waves and Doom Tower Curse City. It might be
like
too
every
much.
champion's like an Embreeze and they die when you hit them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no.
yeah. Like, I don't know. It's an idea to throw out there. I think
It is an
definitely,
idea.
I think YST, I was chatting to him about it. I think he was saying if you added an enemy max HP damage part to his A1, that would make him so much better because he does put counterattack on himself. And then, ooh, you could be getting some enemy max HP hits in, and that would make him a little bit sexier. Because yeah, as he's so one-dimensional right now, it's like,
I like that idea. I like, if you know, that's why, yeah, that's a really solid suggestion, because if you're not going to give him enemy max HP on the A1, then perhaps you give him like a Contra type passive where every time he attacks with his base skill, he lands 3 of the following debuffs or something like that, you know?
I'd love that.
Like that way you can really synergize that A1 and the counterattack with something. So I like that, you know, adding something to that A1, making it really special.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now, I feel like this whole second part of his A2, you're like, if that didn't exist, you might not even notice, you know? It's so
I know,
bad.
right?
It's
like, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be totally keep it 100 with you, Nubs. Yeah. I didn't even know he had reflect damage before we...
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
So, yeah. I'm with you. So, Angar, man, go back to the well, Plarium.
Okay.
You didn't do enough there for poor Angie.
Right. Well, let's stick on theme. We're going back to the well again, Ash, because Fortis.
This is bad, man.
I think he's been buffed twice. I think a third time, man. We need you know, I love. I've got a soft spot for this guy, and there's so many True Fear champions in the game now. You know, you got Queen of Hearts, Mad Hatter even can do it. Fabian, yeah. Fortis, he's not bad. He actually genuinely isn't bad, but his kit design is still all over the place. So, like, one thing they fixed with Calamitous, and I love it, is they said, okay, we've got Calamitous, he's got this one skill that that always crits, but his other skills don't. So you just build him 100% crit rate anyway. Fortis, he's been reworked twice, and he still has this 100% crit over here, but he doesn't have it here. But he has it on his A1 as well. So, like, what do we do? We're going to build him 100% crit anyway. Why is this here and taking away from his power? I think cleaning that up would help so much. I don't. Is there anything else that you would like to see change with Fortis? Do you like Fortis as much as me, or do you think
I love Fortis, man?
Ooh, okay.
He's so. I love this champion, man. Like, he's from the day they brought him into the game, he intrigued me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I agree. Like, yeah, there's something I would change. His damage, man. Like, he's still, for me, like, for how arduous it is to unlock the Stars Align. Or rather the Astral Terrors, right? For how difficult it is to unlock a secret skill in this game, especially like Arena is all about kind of go first. Like, what can you bring immediately, you know? And it's just like, oh, you need to unlock, you know, or depend on a lot of RNG and other factors at least.
Yeah.
So if you're going to keep it a secret skill, and you need a big setup, and you need to worry about buff removal and fear application, and then RNG, then it's going to be a monstrous payoff. Like, it's going to be a delete button like an Allies, you know, or something like big happens, like the Sky Piercer used to be back in the day with Baron, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't, to me, the damage, even if it all goes well, it's still like,
Yeah.
Like, and to me, that was the biggest disappointment, is like, even if, you know, like all the fear and the crazy stuff, and I agree with everything that you said, but man, like, at least make him a delete button if it's going to be a secret skill, like a Vlad or whatever. What's his face? Valkanen. Like, you unlock that bad boy, you're going to delete something, you know? So there's a few ways you can do that. You can add ignore defense, make it pure damage. You can put a block revive to make him a bigger threat, you know, but there needs to be a bigger payoff in his kit, you know?
Okay, I totally agree. Cool. You know, I'm
Right.
gonna be cheeky. I'm gonna jump in because you mentioned him, and I hadn't thought about this at all. But one small thing, Valkonen, I've tried to use him before, and for whatever reason, every time he's like, "Who will I kill in this team? Will I kill Sun Wukong? Hmm. Or I could kill my own Sifi. How about that? That they need to fix the AI on this
Dude,
guy. It is something shocking,
how
man.
about when you put him into a wave? Bro, I was like
Yeah,
in Curse City. I'm like, oh yeah, Falcon, and I love this dude. And then he's like, boom, 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 killing everybody on my team. He
yeah,
should not auto into killing everybody, man. Like, he's killing my reviver on his
yeah,
first move. I'm like,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I
Just
agree with you, man. Falcon is so cool, but
yeah. Hmm.
Falcon is probably the best non-meta champion that's so far from meta, but he's like so cool, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, he's cool, but just add in like he won't target someone who has a revive skill with this move or something. Like, please, just something, Plarium,
It's
because
tricky. It's
yeah.
tricky, man. I
Sorry.
mean,
I jumped in
yeah.
and I stole a pick off of you. Do you want to hit us up with something
No, I
else?
think Falcon is a great champion to talk about because
Mm,
he's so cool, man. He's so cool.
yeah,
But it just like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes like once in a blue moon though in live arena,
you see him? Mm,
someone will like it's only happened like twice, but someone will draft him like as
yeah.
a last pick and they already have Sun Wu or something on the team. And I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, I guess I'm banning Falcon and I don't want to
Yeah,
deal with this
yeah,
dude, you know? So he does have the respect for me at the very least.
yeah. Yeah,
Uh
yeah, yeah.
okay, okay. Next up, I'm
Hmm.
gonna go with all right, I want to give it we're gonna stay on the topic of Void Legend. I mean, Void
Mm,
Legends, Void Legendaries and Mythicals, they've shown their propensity to go in there and touch more than any other champion. God knows
yeah,
more than Epics or anything like that. They don't even buff those
yeah.
anymore. But so I want to talk about this dude who I actually kind of like him, and it's the beast to the proverbial beauty in Coronar.
Ooh, yes, yes.
Coronar, man, he's a cool champ because every time I mention Coronar, by the way, that he needs a buff, people in the comments still love this dude. They're like, he's still a beast, Ash. You're wrong. You're wrong. The thing
Wow.
is like, yeah, he's kind of a beast, but we deserve better from Coronar, man. He's
Yeah,
outdated. He's outdated.
yeah.
Wow, he actually has really bad ratings.
He's so bad. Yeah,
I
it's
don't know who those people are in the comments, but they're not those people. I love that he has 27k HP. That's awesome. I love
ah,
his turn meter on his A1. I actually like his A2. I like his A3, but I don't like that cooldown, man. Like he should just be a 3-turn
mm,
cooldown, decrease attack, decrease defense, unconditional,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but he doesn't feel that way. He doesn't feel like a debuffer, really. Like, you know, like his
Yeah.
aesthetic at least. But I think that they have like a lot going on here. The counterattacks. I almost feel like maybe they beef up the A1 a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe they reduce the cooldown on the A3 a little bit.
Yep.
And they make maybe they just make him always counterattack, like straight up. Like it doesn't need Manaya on the same team, you
Mm,
know?
that's cool.
I know
Yeah.
you still want some Manaya synergy on there, but like maybe he just gets a revive on death or something. I don't know, like she does, you know?
Yeah, they
What do
should
you
definitely
think?
give him something juicy. I feel like Manaya plus Coronar is such a bad pairing.
Oh yeah.
That I think that whole pairing could do with a rework. Yeah, I think just make this always counterattack and put Manaya into the spectacle passive and make it do something actually spectacular instead of like
Right?
increase defense. I mean, that's nice. Is it a spectacle? Is it just, very bland buff? I don't know, man.
I almost feel like what Coronar does when Manaya's on the team should
Mm,
just be his permanent. Like,
yeah,
so his
yeah,
A1 should be a 2-time hitter,
yeah.
instead of a 1-time hitter. And then maybe you wouldn't even need, but for a void freaking legendary, I don't care who you are,
Mm,
man. If you're gonna bring a decreased defense, just make it a 3-turn cooldown,
yeah,
right?
I
Like on
agree.
that battle wall too.
I tell you what, here's an idea. Here's an idea.
Yeah.
How about when Manaya's on the team, every time he counterattacks, he starts getting scaling stats like 5% HP up to like
Yeah.
50% or 100 or something
I
like
love
that. You
that.
go crazy,
There you go, man.
They're
There
a
you go.
duo.
And
It's
then
a lot.
on the A2, how about the stop being so selfish with your buffs, Coronar? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Buff the whole
I
team.
don't like void legendaries who only buff themselves, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not a block debuff and increased defense on all champions, but
Hmm.
even if you gave him that, it wouldn't make him like so broken that you'd be like, oh, it's impossible. It's that'd be
Yeah.
too good.
Exactly. Like we're
Oh,
talking about a game with like Odin and Queen of Hearts and Taras Marishka. Like Taras Marishka, there's a couple. Like they're insane when they're together.
right?
Karnar and
Yeah.
Manaya. I know Manaya's not a void legendary, so the couple shouldn't be quite as strong as that, of course. But they're so far from that now. It's kind of a joke. All right, yeah, I'm there
Yeah.
with you. I'm gonna
Okay.
go with, you know what? This is a champion that whenever I've said before they should be buffed, I get the same. I get so many comments saying no, they're actually amazing, but I just don't see it, and that's Raglin, man. Um,
Oh,
like
Raglin. That's a very interesting choice.
yeah, let's. How is she?
Yeah, I
Oh,
want to
oh,
hear
her
your
reviews
case.
are
I want to
actually
hear your
pretty
case.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, they
but
are bad. Yeah.
like I feel for a void reviver, I don't know. Like I feel like she's really underwhelming. The one thing she's got going, I do love the 2-turn revive with the full turn
Oh
meter.
yeah.
Like that's sick. But then I'm like her A2, a 4-turn buff debuff removal. Like you've got even epic champions nowadays can do that in 2025, and then she heals equal to her, proportional to her attack. Like, sorry, what? I mean, if that was HP, that would make sense. It would still be a bad move, but at
Yeah.
least it would make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? And I feel like she's real bad. She doesn't have a passive either. I feel like this is a champion that could almost get an entire rework. Like
Yeah.
you compare her to Mariska, you compare her to, I think her base form compares very badly to, let's say, a Star Sage Galathier as well. They're very similar, but he's like so much better, and that's not even including his alternate form. For a Void Legendary, I feel like she's very, very old. I don't. Do you feel more kindly towards her, or?
No, I mean, it's weird because like
Hmm,
you could say this about a lot of champions, but like, yeah, if you pull a Raglan
early
on an
accounts,
account
yeah,
that needs a reviver, you're sitting really pretty, you know. So like, it
true.
depends, obviously, with every champion in this game. But I agree, man. Back in the day, Raglan was like number one. She was like the best Void Legendary in the game,
Wow.
and that shows you power creep in this game. Like she
Yeah.
was. I remember her ranked. It was like Valkyrie and Martyr are the best non-void legendaries,
Yeah.
and Raglan is number one in the voids. And now it's just like,
Wow.
man, how she's fallen off. But it's tricky too, because if you go in and you make that A2 what it ought to be, like a Star Sage,
Mm,
little turn meter fill, a block debuffs and a cleanse and a heal,
mm.
then she becomes so redundant. Like every
Yeah.
reviver is the same almost, you
Mm,
know? So
I agree.
it's a tricky thing when you talk about support and revivers in this game of like, how can you make them unique enough? Even
Yeah.
if you give her a turn meter fill,
Mm-hmm.
like a 30% turn meter fill, then you're like, yeah, well, you got Kaja in the same damn faction, you know,
Ah,
like
yeah,
they all
yeah.
start to kind of bleed together. Not that she doesn't deserve a buff, but like, how can
Mm-hmm.
you make her unique and like actually play to the ethos of whatever they wanted to do in the beginning of the game with a champion like this, you know, and her
True.
spot in the area, you know?
I've never read her. I know this is actually a thing where I haven't read her lore. Might be worth
Yeah.
reading through the lore and seeing what's going on even with the character. And yeah, because I think it is a good point. Like, how many revivers with block debuffs and a cleanse do you really need? I mean, it's a perfect complement to what a reviver does, but
It
a
is.
bit of
Yeah.
variety definitely. Like Uko is pretty cool. Like he's a reviver, but he's doing the buff stripping and stealing buffs and control. And it's like that's a lot of flavor. That's actually really sick.
Molly
Like,
Tankard, right? She's different, you know?
yeah.
Like I like these
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
champions.
I
Maybe Miracle needs to be a passive, you know? Maybe
ooh.
Miracle
Ooh.
is just straight up when an ally dies, instantly revives them with 75, but maybe not instantly, but like
Yeah,
well, Godseeker has a preemptive death, you know, mechanic.
does.
Why can't you just make a better Godseeker out of a Raglan, you know, or something like that? I don't know.
That could be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely something creative for sure. Yeah, because she's so old and basic.
She's old.
Doing something spicy might be nice. I mean, the only danger, of course, if you change her up too much, is you will have a few players that are relying on her, for their whatever their old teams, and you change Raglan, it falls apart. I guess that's always a concern with buffing old
Yeah.
champions or changing them too much. But
Yeah.
I kind of feel like she does need something fairly
Do you make
substantial.
Miracle and AoE? Would that be way too busted? We have a 3-turn AoE on Lady Noelle.
Yeah.
Would a 2-turn AoE? You'd have to bring down the full turn meter, I assume, right?
Yeah, or you'd have to increase the cooldown or something. I mean, that'd be kind of insane. A full like Cardinal 2.0, That would be
A
really
legendary
good.
Cardinal would be cool, right? Boost
Yeah.
turn meter to max.
Max turn meter, AoE revive on a
Yeah.
legendary with
That could be cool. There you go, Plarium. There you go.
Okay.
Think about that.
Okay.
Think about
Damn.
that one.
All right. Cool. Do you have
Man,
any
going
how about
through these.
sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I
hit
was
me.
just gonna say, do you have any mythicals you want to throw in there? before
Yeah,
we
there's
go.
so many. It's like looking through these champions, by the way,
Yeah.
like there's so many non-voids and mythicals that we could probably make a whole nother video because there's like Richtoff and
Oh,
Adolin and Septimus.
yes.
I'm just looking at same Banner
Oh,
Lords. I'm like, oh my God,
Bannerlords is bad, man. Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I can
they've
tell
got a
you,
lot of them.
behind the scenes, like I've already been looking through like the different factions and like how good is the faction, like preparing for Faction Wars hard stuff. I'm like Bannerlords, if you leave out Taras Marishka, I'm like they've got a lot of like good champions, but they've got so few amazing champs. It's like, oh, Sigmund, he's actually really good. Killian's actually, I think, surprisingly good for this, and like
I
Timit
like
and
Killian.
Kaja, oh, they're
Yeah.
really good, but there's so few. They're like, oh wow, oh that champ's insane. Like, yeah, it's the
Dude. But I mean,
Shuzan or something of the
e
faction. There's
even if you're a fan of these champions, Lord Champfort, Sathalia,
yeah.
Killian, even though I'm like I'm a fan, it's like no one's like
Mm.
jumping up and down when they pull a Killian the Lucky. Let's be real, you know? Like,
I want him for Irish pride, man. He's the first Irish champ in the game. But
I
yeah,
respect
I'm
it
with
being
you.
Irish of heritage, at
Yeah,
least. Not that, but I
yeah,
respect it. But Killian deserves better, man.
yeah, yeah.
And then even like so, you just go across the board, like Black Knight. You just keep
Oh,
going. They're all like, you know,
Black Knight
like
even
so. Yeah,
looks visually like he's from
old.
2020. You know,
Yeah,
he's
right.
so far off. Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah. Mythicals, man.
Yeah.
I don't have either of. I don't have Jorad. You do.
Yes.
But I think
Yes.
he's the mythical. I think it's a guarantee, man. Like this is. I don't think PLARIUM even needs us to tell him. I
Yeah.
think he's got to be. I would. God. June. I would say June or July. 100%. He's already on tap for a buff. Man, they buff
Cool.
mythicals all the time. You
Yeah.
know. We
Mhm.
just got Gallius buff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, who else would they touch for mythicals right now? Right? Like maybe a Nell. But
Yeah. I
you
think
know.
Nell is under. I don't know how you feel. I think she's kind of underrated. I think she's
I,
actually
I really
okay.
like Nell, but I don't think she's like.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's like the most powerful mythical, but she's
Mm.
really such a cool kit. Like one of
Yeah.
the coolest designs, but just needs a little bit more. Like her alternate form is all about damage and extra turns,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
really the damage is very low. You know, it's like the
Right.
multipliers. You know, so like,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a thin line on a champion like that where if there's ever a reason to have poison. Like this game lacks a lot of good areas to use poison nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
she could be a beast with that buffet on that base form if poison was a thing.
It's true. Yeah, it is interesting. And like, you know, they did add in that relic a little bit ago. What was it? The preserved something. This one where it's like you start, I'm blocking it, but you start ignoring defense for every poison you place. Like that's kind of cool. Now it's only an epic
Yeah.
relic. It's not gonna be game breaking, but like she does have potential in the future. But
Poisoners
yeah.
are in such a tough spot because they're a dime
Right.
a dozen nubs. There's
Mm,
so many good champions that are poisoners, like King Galkabar in the same faction, man. That
yeah.
guy could be a beast, but like he's a poisoner. They've give us one dungeon from 15 years ago to use
Hmm.
poison in, you know?
Yeah, he'd be actually a great one to, but because he's like the
Right?
king. Is he not the king of the
He's
fake
supposed to be
king
the
of
king.
legend? And I'm like,
Yeah.
he's forgettable, bro.
Yeah, I know.
This guy
So
could
yeah,
do
but
the
anyway, I
buff.
would give it to Jorad though. All that being said, I mean,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
love a buff to Nell. I just think that she doesn't need it as much as Jorad does, man. And I mean, I guess
Yeah.
I'll hand it back to you to talk about him a little bit because I don't have him, but
Mm,
everything I've seen from him stinks.
yeah, he's got a lot of problems. I mean, my main problem with him, his base form is not bad. AoE freeze, decrease speed, extra turn. It's okay. Block buffs, block debuff, sorry, increase speed, bit of cooldown reduction. Actually, it's fine. It's fine. I do feel like the not repeating the attack if they're frozen, that kind of sucks. Like, oh, I successfully froze them, now my A1 is worse. That's a bit bad, but he's not
Yeah.
terrible in
Not
his
a
base
bad base
form.
form though, when you
Not
read it,
terrible.
you know?
It can maybe do with a couple of little tweaks. I think his second form is dreadful though. Like the damage on this is so bad. And like, we were talking about it. There's some, like if you build him with lethal and helm smasher or something with that ignore defense stuff, well, he's already ignoring 100% on this move. This is his one good move. So your helm smasher, your lethal, you're not helping you do more damage if they're frozen here. But then his other moves are not going to do any damage whatsoever if you don't build him with that ignore defense. So he's in this really awkward spot. And
I think I have a buff for him. Hear me out. Hear me out.
okay, go.
So all I want to do is change one. It might not be enough. You could
Okay.
argue that.
Okay.
But all I want to do is change one word in his whole kit, and it's on the alternate form. I think that instead of decreased turn meter, I think you steal it on the A2.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be pretty big.
That allows you to open up with the freeze,
Mm,
guaranteed extra turn on his base, come in, steal turn meter 100% ideally,
yeah,
and then pop
smack in with
off
that.
with the A3, you know?
Yeah.
Because you need those. I mean, this is a reoccurring theme here on like the Gizmax and the Embries, all these chained extra turns, you know, like that's
Yeah.
where you can get so much value out of, even if not every skill is independently super powerful. So, I mean,
like it. Yeah.
you still have problems with this kit, right?
Yeah.
You're still going to be underwhelming in damage. You're still going to be stone skin. Like, how are you going to remove it? You know, so there's still questions, but you know, that's what other, you know, setup champions and stuff are for too.
Exactly. Yeah. You mean you don't need a champion that does everything by themselves. Yeah. I think that's a great and that's like, you know, we mentioned this at the start. You know, instead of waiting ages for the change, you can do these smaller changes more quickly.
Yeah.
That just really improve a champion's feel. I would think something similar for Fralny, where again he's not like the most OP mythical, but his form 2 is definitely underwhelming. I think that Gallius treatment of give him an extra turn on his A3.
Yes.
So he puts out ally protection, make it 3 turns of unkillable because he's taken an extra turn. Then he can go straight in with a heal, and it's just helping him particularly because he's got that really fun A1 form 1 passive where he's stacking up his stats, helps him get back to transforming into form 1. So it's like, I jump into form 2 and I can actually protect my team. Often in arena, in reality, you swap into form 2, like it feels like you're never getting back to form 1, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be sick. And like, again, he maybe could do some bigger changes, but a little extra turn here, extra turn on the unkillable to make up for that as well. And suddenly you've got a much more functional champion with just one simple change.
Yeah. When in doubt, just add an extra turn.
When in doubt, yeah.
Right.
Oh man, dude, I can foresee a video 2026, say like May 2026. Ray, there's too many extra turns. Every damn champion's extra turns these days. The game is ruined.
Blame. They'll know who to blame.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that extra? Just keep adding extra turns.
Yeah, extra.
Yeah.
Man, but listen, Ash, thank you so much for jumping on and for joining me for this video. If you guys want to see us talking about all of the Chimera champs in the game, and Ash was asking for some of my insights into the tier list now that's on hellhades.com, and some like behind the scenes info and reasoning and stuff. I think it was a really fun discussion. Throw it on like a podcast in the background over there. It was good.
It was great, man. Thanks for doing that. Yeah.
Cool. It's going to be linked down below if you guys want to check it out. Listen, Ash, thank you so much for joining. Anything that you want to say here for the end of the video?
Man. I appreciate everything that you do. Again, like even behind the scenes on the Hades website and stuff like that with the whole team there. Pleasure to join you, man. Love talking Ray with you. Thanks.
Sweet. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.